the words of our Honorable Vice Chancellor that he wants our students to be job creators and not job seekers. So it is our duty as a teachers and academicians to fill this gap. So my another question to Professor Baraiya, this time from my left, and I will ask a very straightforward question that if there is a gap, we will discuss what this gap is. We will not first discuss how to fill the gap. I would like to ask you that in which sectors do you feel that there is a gap?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that particularly in engineering, right?
Okay.
So there are so many branches, right? In 1 year ago, I have started survey on the students, what the industry needs, right? So from the industry, they are saying that mechanical people must know that AutoCAD is there. Electrical people are saying that student must know PLC, right? But there is no any platform for the students to learn the PLC, to learn the AutoCAD professionally, right? So there is a gap. So the real requirement of the real world in corporate, that is these things, right?
Okay.
And the students are not knowing. And after passing their graduation, right? When they go to the corporate, right? Either they spend 3 months to learn that things,
Learn the things.
right? And these 3 months will be more crucial for them.
Correct.
Right? So this is the main thing
And
that
I
I
have
feel.
also seen, sir, that even in not only in our college, across Gujarat, I have seen that when they pass out, they get into a paid training, a kind of. I think it's not very so good to pay
Even
for a kind of
they
training.
are taking 20 to 25,000 per course. But
per course.
A graduate or an engineer can efficiently learn that thing between their 4-year course.
So, do you think that there is a gap, and if there is a gap, what are these actually gaps?
In my opinion, I would say the question is itself, it compasses a lot of things as the gap.
Yes.
If I have to categorize it and prioritize it, my first priority in identifying the factors which are contributing to this gap would be lack of realization of engineering design needs. I belong to industrial engineering of an engineering branch, I would say. I would not be in a position to answer from the perspective of business or pharmacy or maybe from the corporate angle. But what I have been a big admirer of, now that GTU has come up and has adopted this design engineering as a subject.
As a subject, yes.
Now, the importance of ability to design a product with empathy, with social impact, for something which would relate to our day-to-day life. So that would be the biggest gap of not actually realizing and utilizing the potential of ability of the students who are studying engineering for the engineering design. The engineering design may not be for a commercial product. It could be for any product, as I said in the beginning. The product could be a message, product could be a drive, product could be, development of something which would ease the problems of people. So there is a gap, and in my view, this is the first priority which should be addressed to into the programs. And I really admire the way GTU is coming up with this subject.
I will multiply one confusion, asking one more question to you on the same topic. As you said, that this is a particular kind of subject and its application may not be only in one phase or a sector.
Right.
Do you think that while teaching this particular subject in the class, teachers should also touch something about on this point also, that what is a particular application of this particular subject, and do you really think that doing this we will be able to fill the gap?
Right. See, I would like to elaborate on the scheme of this subject. See, the GTU, what they've done is in the early semesters, early years, the students are made to learn to understand the theme or the requirement of creativity, identification of problem, and that's where they begin with.
Yes.
In the next subsequent semester, what they teach is the methods, how to address, how to this problem is coded, I would say. If we talk in IT terminologies, they start coding the problems.
Yes,
They still are not solving the problems, but they have realized the problem, and they are in the process of identifying the solution.
But they not reached.
They have not reached.
Yes.
And in the subsequent semesters, they start building and developing the solution and documenting it at the same time. So, GTU, as I said, design engineering subject is the thing which should be sought after by the engineering students who are studying presently and embrace that subject in their understanding of engineering. And I'm absolutely sure about the success of this program, and this program will bring about change in employment in a longer run.
Ma'am, I hope you have something to add in what sir already said.
Actually, if you ask me the same question, there are two types of gap.
Okay.
One is the gap of transition from academia to job, employment. Another is a type of gap from academia to entrepreneurship.
Right.
I see.
As you have already hinted about job creation, that gives me an idea. According to me, I'm a person who's a story of rags to riches.
Okay.
Came with 20 rupees to Ahmedabad. Only had Saraswati in my hand. That is post-graduation in international trade, which is my business today.
Okay.
So, as far as my experience is concerned and today, the gap from academia to entrepreneurship is lower than gap from academia to employment. Now why? The types of gaps we have, the technology is changing very fast.
Yes.
Every day it is upgraded. The organization, I mean business organizations, are fitting in this upgradation of technology day by day. Like if I am communicating other way before 15 days, today I am communicating another way. Maybe it's engineering, maybe it's MBBS, maybe it's pharmaceuticals, maybe it's entrepreneurship. The educational institutions are not upgrading in that speed.
True.
So we are upgraded much faster than educational. That means the laboratory equipments which an engineering institution or pharmaceutical institution or medical institutions have today are much, like primitive in comparison to one hospital or one pharmaceutical formulation unit or any entrepreneurship organization. So upgradation of this institution, see, this speed is going to remain. The world is for innovation today.
Very true.
So the speed is going to remain for 2 decades. Minimum.
Yes.
Are we prepared? That means allocation of budget on education from state to the nation, India, has to be monitored very smartly. That it has to go to the right direction. See, because you and I, we are not going to decide about the lab equipments of educational institution. These are the people, the administration, the system of the country which is going to decide. So they have to be efficient, that these educational institutions, they get very latest equipments for the students. See, if they are educated well, as Professor Chhaya said, society will be built, the nation will be built and will be contributing to the world.
So there is another
upgradation of, and another thing is like why it is said that success is equal to money. Somehow we are trapped in crony capitalism.
Very true.
We are we are so much trapped. We are quasi. We are everywhere quasi. We were half socialist, half capitalist. That fits in our demography. But somehow the attitude of crony capitalism it is deteriorating the intelligence of our students.
Very true.
We have to teach. See, I liked first thing, beginning of wisdom is the definition of term. Why is our student forgetting the term called wisdom?
Yeah.
Why is money wisdom? No. The definition of wisdom for these 5 people could be different.
Yes.
For me, it's not Porsche which is important. For me, 4 wheels are more important to come here. So the definition could change. So we have to change the pattern. For that, I have been informed, before 15 days, I met faculties from 35 engineering institutions.
Okay.
I have been informed that the professors, this is the right platform, so that's why I'm saying for the 3rd time, this is the 3rd right platform I have got. They have told me that the professors are busy in their 70% time for administration, not for teaching.
Yes. Okay.
They have informed me that laboratories have no assistants. That is the biggest gap. Let's work on it.
Anyways, so lot many things. Talati sir, I hope that you have had so many things to put on. So without any question, I will give you a chance to throw some light on this particular.
Later on, the same on which Madam Soneji has just talked, it need to be diverted. The focus need to be diverted. In fact, the students are running behind the marks, and we have to make them run behind the talent. In fact, the mentality of the parents as well as everyone as a part of society needs to be changed. Parents and the students even, they relate marks with money, rather they should relate talent with money.
Talent with money, correct.
Because it is the talent which can be encashed, not the marks.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I believe that we have smoothly believed into the our method of solving the problem. We are in the process of identification of the problem.
Yeah.
I would like to add to what she said. She said about building laboratory is an area where institute has to do something. But this is the platform where we are discussing how we can join hands with the corporates, how to bridge that, how to identify which machines are required, how to build the skills.
Let all the points first come under the light, and then we'll analyze. Yeah, sir, you were saying something to.
In fact, the students, we take an example. Generally, we live the age of around 60 to 80 years. It's a normal human life. Out of these 80 years, around 20 to 22 years, students gives for the academics. Right from the playhouse, he studies through the master degree program. Within these 22 years, he passes through the 22 different standards. In each standard, they have around 7 to 8 subjects.
Yes.
In each subjects, they have 10, 20 or 30 of the chapters.
Correct.
In each chapters, they have around 20 questions. Even if the student is not getting a single question out of this many subjects and this many chapters and this many years of studies, they get frustrated. They get I don't know anything, I will be failed in my life. They don't know that what is the importance of this a single question out of these 80 years of life. So rather giving more importance to the marks, we should start something like this, that the students and the parents as well as everyone in the society should start, even the corporates should start giving importance to the talent rather than the marks.
Okay.
So this is the basic thing.
I would like to add
Please.
here, sorry
Please.
to interrupt. As Mr. Professor
Chhaya.
Baraiya, Professor Baraiya, he said that educational institutions are for learning. What misconception is there that it becomes learning of mathematics, English and science? Where is the learning of failure? Where is the learning of etiquettes? Where is the learning of behavior? See, the learning he meant is a total learning, where the parents and society and the institutions itself, they have another definition of learning. So learning for an educational institution should be the total learning to make that student a good human being.
Okay. Now, actually, I was to come to this particular point on next few questions, but the sum total of whatever all of you said, I have one more question to multiply this particular confusion, and that question is, if there is really a gap, I have one more question. The more important question is, who will fill this gap? I have some options. I have an option like, who will fill this gap? Number one, will government fill this gap between the campus and the corporate, and is our government is doing something or not? Is it our duty to think of government doing something or not? Or can we only complain that government is not doing something? It is our duty to do. That is number one. Number two, is there any role of academicians? Academicians includes, as I said, from teachers to a single person jointly working with colleges, institutions and universities. So that is all academicians, universities, policy makers, then managers of different companies and managers of colleges like self-finance and etc. So this one more question is for all my panelists now, that if there is really a gap, we discussed a lot about what is gap and how to feel and what could be the solutions, but the more important question is, who will fill this particular gap? Is there any role of our own self in filling this particular gap? So I would like to put this question to again Professor Baraiya. Sir, according to you, who is more responsible for filling this particular gap?
Actually, we are at the state that the faculty member or who are teaching is the best person for the students to get into the corporate, right? So when we talk about the government or you can say university, there are some policies, as Chhaya sir says, there is a CPD subject, there is a design engineering subject, but who will be teaching?
Yes.
Who will encourage the students to see the way the university saying?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we are the person who will teach the students, and we are the person who have to give answer to the university. We have to answer to the parents even. We have to encourage and convince them also that student must do these are the things.
Yes. Yes.
They are spending money. Say for example, we are arranging industrial visits for betterment of the students, and they are saying there is a 500 cost for that particular thing, right? They are saying no, my son
Child
will not
come. Yes.
Right. So these type of things, the parents, we have to encourage the parents also and convince them that this is the important for their bright future. Yes. Right. So we are the best person.
So to him, I think he's giving more emphasis to teachers.
Correct.
So that it is teachers who should fill this particular gap. What do you think, sir?
Sir, I agree with what he said, but I would like to add a little further on this.
Please.